Well, hello and welcome to Five Man Shuffle, a Dota 2 Rumours podcast. I'm joined as ever by Nomad with special guest Odie, a former manager of Team Fnatic and Southeast Asian Man, and a busy Neff who couldn't make it to this week's show, so I've replaced him with an image. Nomad, let's kick off by talking through the EU Shuffle. Any thoughts about the ongoing situation there?
The EU shuffle's been pretty wild. I mean, the recent confirmed thing we've had is that OG have let go of Samael and Saxa. I think most people are kind of like expecting Samael to probably go. I think a lot of people didn't expect Saxa to leave the team necessarily, but yeah, I mean, OG now just down to. I mean, who's their official team now? It's what?
No tail?
Hobson hasn't officially left.
Yeah,
No Tail
Thompson and
hasn't
No Tail, I
officially
guess.
left.
Yeah, Thompson and No Tail
yeah.
are both officially there, but they will officially retire.
Yeah.
I imagine
Yeah.
very, very
Looking that
sharpishly.
way.
Odie, have you heard anything about the OG rumours before I share my insider knowledge?
For Southeast Asia, you mean, or just in general?
Let's stick to EU for now.
Okay. I think in EU, I heard of like some shuffle rumor, especially from Secret. But I'm not sure really if that's really true or not. But I think it's gonna be very nice to see some Southeast Asia if they can go to the EU, because I heard that a lot of Southeast Asian players themselves they got a lot of offer from EU, but it's just that it's very hard to move there. Or while the DPC itself gonna start like 2 weeks from now, I believe.
Very soon, yeah.
Yeah, and basically what the players are complaining about is just that the offer comes too late, so that they cannot arrange everything to come immediately, which makes a lot of sense, and also a lot of the Southeast Asian player forced to reject the offer, and it's just sad to hear in general.
That is sad. It's a good place to start, actually. It'd be interesting to know about the Southeast Asian players who kind of had to reject offers, because we know one Southeast Asian, and it's good to conclude Ponlo Watch on this episode. He's finally confirmed as moving to Quincy Crew, which is very exciting. I'm very, very pleased for him. But what are the other players who were tempted to move to Europe, Odie? Where have they ended up going?
Especially, I think the former members of TNC Predator. I think Gabi, Armel, they all have the rumors of going to Europe for certain teams. I cannot say who, of course. And more of the Express wants to do it, but at the same time they cannot do it because they're from the Philippines. It's very hard to move around, and especially with the timeline that they're given to, they're hesitating to move. The one I also see is I heard that former members of Boom Esports, especially Dreamosel, Mikoto, I think those two have a lot of potential going to the EU. But I also heard that I believe NA, especially with the ongoing rumors of ISIS going to Secret as well. I think that will be very interesting, since I believe Secret is always the team that highly values great idea or just intelligence idea, while I think ISIS player is very sporadic or just plain weird, and I don't know if they can mesh up with Secret players.
Yeah, most certainly. On that secret roster, let's. I think this has been pretty widely rumored, especially on Reddit. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nomad. But the secret lineup is rumored to be Samael, Nisha, Ice, Yapsor, and Puppy. Am I correct in saying, or has that moved since I last knew it?
Yeah, some people are saying that Crit will be jumping in for Yapsor, but that seems. I mean, it's all just rumors at this point. But yeah, I think the biggest question mark there is. I mean, it's all question marks, but the biggest one's probably around the POS 4. It seems like everyone's just saying like every player possible in POS 4 for Team Secret right now. You know, people saying Tiger, people are saying like, oh, they're gonna get POS 4 players from SEA and stuff like this. So I mean, that's probably been the most contested. And also Samel, people are just saying he's going to be in every team at this point. So he's another one who's going around the world in 80 days. But yeah, I mean, I think with Samel it's very interesting because people are like, oh, it's probably going to be Liquid, and then it's probably going to be Secret, and we don't really know at this point where exactly he has ended up. I mean, as far as I'm aware, the dust still hasn't settled on this. Like, there's still, even at this point, changes being made.
I know the Liquid lineup was at one point, including Samael. It was obviously Zai has been announced as being a Liquid member. I believe it was meant to be Insania, Boxy, Samael, and who am I forgetting?
Mickey?
Mickey, yes, of course.
Mickey, of course, yeah.
Closing it off. But my knowledge is that Zai's obviously joined the team and Samael's moved away from the team. I would expect in the direction of Secret. And I think they're waiting a couple of weeks because I was expecting them to announce the team last week, and they've not done that. So I imagine there's still some fluidity there in what's happening with the lineup.
I think there's some possibility of maybe Nisha going to Liquid. I think that sounds plausible to me. I don't know. The people seem to just kind of be like, oh, well, the Secret kind of found Nisha, so Nisha will stay there. And maybe that is the case. Maybe Nisha will move, though. I don't know. I think for a player of his caliber, it would be tempting for him to start to move around and try out different teams and such, even though they did do very well at TI. I don't know. It's a really hard call for sure. And again, this is all kind of speculation based very loosely on rumors we've been hearing around the place, but everything's just so old and everything's just been so wrong as well. It's really interesting. Just trying to piece it all together, piece out the puzzle pieces. Because I mean, even before the Liquid announcement, right? Like the rumors from within the scene were like, oh, really early on, they were like, oh yeah, Zai's gonna go to Liquid, and then everyone was like, no, that's not gonna happen anymore. He's going somewhere else, and then like he comes out, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's what we knew. And everyone's just like, yeah, it's funny. At this point, I'm kind of just taking the back seat and enjoying the ride. But yeah, it's definitely fun discussing the possibilities.
How do we feel about talking about the OG lineup as it currently stands? Because that's an interesting one in terms of two their players who aren't retiring have left the team. Sax, I've got personally no idea where Sax is going, and I've not heard anything about it. So there's a number of options. I guess Secret's an option, but there's a number of options out there for him. In terms of the remaining OG lineup, what do you know about it? Either of you?
I mean, there was the guy on Reddit who said that the new roster was going to be Maposhka. I mean, as far as we're aware, Maposhka is going to be like kind of rebuilding the team, and they want to try and get like
Misha?
Sorry, Misha. Yeah, Misha.
What the fuck is he?
Not bad.
I was like,
Misha
was opening later now. I'm trying to find.
Team Spirit leaves Maposhka, kicks Maposhka. He joins OG. They need a storyline, OG. No, Misha is reforming the team. As far as we can tell, at least that's what people have been saying. And yeah, the Reddit leaks say that it's going to be. I think it was Hansha and a motherfucker or ATF. And what else did they say, Dan?
Tiger and Misha.
Space, who I've never heard of.
No.
Do you know anything about Space, Odie?
No, never heard of it.
Oh, it's this thing above the sky. If you look up at night, you can see it. But, no, it's a very, very young player from, I think, I don't want to say wrong, but I believe Bulgaria or something like this. Mm-hmm. I mean, it feels like OG basically, if this is true, they're basically just trying to invest in young talent, which then they can kind of shape into that kind of OG mindset that they want, which would make a lot of sense. I mean, I can definitely see them doing that. So as far as I'm concerned, like I believe that could certainly be the case. I mean, don't trust what you read online, especially in Reddit comments, but LGD, Ame fan, right? He leaked everything one year. This could be the same thing. Who knows? But I mean, I could see it, and I kind of want to see it at this point. I've got myself quite hyped up about the idea because it's what I've been saying in EU for ages, right? I want them to bring in new players. I want them to bring in new talent. I want them to bring in some fresh faces and try and find the new stars, because that's what CIS and China have been doing, and CIS just won TI and China won both the majors, so it's time to get with the 21st century, old men.
Let's do it. Let's close off with EU then by talking about Alliance. There's not been a lot of info released about Alliance that I know of. No one's released anything to me, certainly. All I've been told is that it's an exciting roster. So my guess for the exciting roster, and you can take this as a pure guess, not anything, is Fly, Handskin, not certain on the offlaner, Nico Baby, and then Weehaw, just because I know Weehaw's returning, and he's the only exciting name that I can think of. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Does either of you know anything more about Alliance that you're willing to share?
Well, I heard that they try to get some of Southeastern Pleasure. Once again, I cannot say who. It's very hard to say since like the offer is like very close to dealing, and the players wants to back out last minute because again the timeline. But for Fly himself, I heard he's moving to Southeast Asia actually.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I don't think Alliance will go with Fly. But once again, there's no other 5 that's good enough to play in Europe as of now. That's why hence OG doing their own, I guess, OG seed second phase project or something. But Alliance, they're definitely scrambling to find another players. Hence they're why reaching for every region that they can for. But I think it's already time for Alliance as well to start with something like a new liquid, the Mickey Coach for Boxy Taiga and Inzania kind of things. Because I think they're very good on teaching people rather than trying to work with some of these old guys like S4, FNG, for which I feel like kind of be just okay for the last year.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about NA then, because we mentioned Fly there, and why we mentioned Fly is kind of relevant. This is again something that was on Reddit. I would like to say we knew it before it was on Reddit, but I don't know if that really counts for anything. Which is the weird rumor of the return of Jerax to EG to replace Fly, with Crit moving to position 5. Ice obviously leaving. I don't know, their offlaner, and then RTZ and Abed, I assume, sticking around. That's a weird one. Do you think this stretches credibility, guys, or do you think it's possible that he could be returning?
I mean, I think it's possible, yeah. I think, Jax, once he retired, he tried out streaming for a while, didn't really like it, did well enough, obviously, for viewers and such, but just kind of couldn't find it. And I reckon over time, you get cold feet. He wants that feeling of competitiveness back. I mean, I don't know for sure, obviously, there's I don't know the guy at all, but I feel like, for anybody competing in sports and stuff, it's hard to walk away from it all. And if the opportunity arises, then who knows? Maybe he is coming back. It would be a wild, crazy move, especially considering OG and EG's past. It would be nuts. And then, of course, to then yeet Fly out would just be...
To do what? Sorry?
Be dank. To yeet Fly out.
Yeet.
Yeet. I thought you said eat.
Sorry, Dan, I know you're an old man, but this is what the young people are saying these days. It would be poetic, I guess. But, I mean, completely crazy. But, yeah, I mean, seems it's what people be saying.
I believe I already see some article as well that Artesia, Abed, and Crit definitely staying, but they don't say anything about Ice and Fly, which makes me think that they're definitely out of EG already. It's just that it's just the time of their announcement, which is just weird because Dota 2 itself is like we're racing with all the leaks here and there, and then when knowing about the announcement, we already know it like 2 weeks ago in Reddit. Which I think is just weird because I think when teams or players are leaving, they just should announce it immediately rather than find out on all these leaks and just making another baseless rumor. But I think Jerax also coming back is a high possibility actually, because if we remember last season when they when OG coming back with Ana, Jerax also is not trying to stream per se. It's just like he's trying to stream, but at the same time he's trying to um, coming back to his tournament form, as to say, and making people talking about like, oh, maybe the Jerax and Ana gonna come back together for OG one last ride in TI10, which doesn't happen because I think that Jerax just start too late, and maybe he feels that he can do it now, but OG doesn't have their own core anymore, so he just find the next best thing, I guess.
Yes, there we go. Let's roll on then to Southeast Asia. We've spoken about the Southeast Asian players and what they're not doing. From your knowledge, what's currently going on in the scene that's not been confirmed yet?
Yeah. I believe there's a lot of disbandment, especially in the upper division. For Omega Boom shaking their roster, I believe they only have one Indonesian for now. TNC, even though they still have the upper division slot, they don't release any new players at all, which makes me think they're going international, because a lot of these players already signed in with another teams. I believe Armel already signed. Teams already signed with Boom. Boomy going for who is it? Let me check. Polaris and Bok teamless right now. T1 also saving their all 5 members, which is very good. I believe Dota 2 in the long term is on how long you can stay together as a team. And also Fnatic releasing, I believe, their newest member, right? Chuan and that, and they're gonna be most likely replaced by Jean Noel and who's the other one? I forget.
Armel, right?
Armel, yeah. So I think Fnatic is going to be like a 4 Filipinos with Japs as the captain, which is also very weird because Japs is the sole highline, but he's the captain. So I think there's gonna be a dynamic issue for sure there.
Yeah.
But I heard that Pau is very good on making this team works, and especially I'm also surprised that they can qualify for TI10, considering their performance. And so I guess there's always that kind of fanatic flair that can come up in the clutch situation.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear. Have you heard anything in addition to that, Nomad?
No, unfortunately not. SCA is not a region I've heard much about, unfortunately. But yeah, it would definitely be cool to see TNC joining the international scene and bringing in a few extra players from around the place. I'm down for that.
It does make sense if you mentioned with Fly going to, that's where he'd be ending up. And there was rumors we spoke about in the first couple of episodes of this, which was around former Viking players moving to Southeast Asia. I guess they could be in that international TNC roster. Just connecting the dots there. Go ahead.
I think Southeast Asia is just like the second NA right now, because there's like really no other strong team besides I guess T1 for now, because I feel like all the other roster is lackluster. Maybe Fnatic's gonna come back again, Boom also, but other than that, I don't really see that anyone contesting T1 in the soonest. So I guess that's also the reason why people are moving to Southeast Asia, because all the lower division players also got wrecked, and they basically just got picked up by all the upper division slot teams, which makes it very weird because I believe AG, they don't have their own core. Motivat Trust, they're just staying. SMG also losing KP, which mean they need to import another offlane, which I think they may take from Liquid, because Liquid already have Zai, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of movement definitely in the Southeast Asia, especially in the lower division, because there's a lot of like, let's say just Pondo. Pondo have been teamless for years same with that. A lot of these players are teamless, but because they don't have the chance to do it, it's just that it's easier to import players for Southeast Asia because with the way they stands now, they have a lot of money, especially after selling all those players. I heard that Neon get like 100 and 200K for selling their for selling Scam and Your Patch to Boom. It's just like crazy money for
That's
now.
crazy. Let's talk about China briefly. I don't know anything about China. Odie, have you got any view on China? What's happening there?
Okay, for China, the only thing I heard that they're making new, basically the second elephant team. So it's gonna be a mix between Chinese and Southeast Asian players. Most likely, they're gonna take Alacrity if it all goes well. But I don't know. I think Nigma Galaxy will try to preserve their members as hard as they can. Because I think in the China region, there's just no space to get to the upper division easily. Because if we remember, the 6 team that are now in the upper region is Aster, LGD, Fiji, IG, Leaf, Elephant, and eHome. Only eHome doesn't have rosters right now.
Great. It's good to hear. It's always hard to get on top of the Chinese region, but that's really interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the Chalice leaks as well, right? He said in his stream that Eurus left Elephant, not going to RNG. RNG is Felix, and possibly either Super or Red Panda on POS 5. And then Extreme Gaming are going to have 2 teams. DY and PYW might be going to YE, which is DY's former team before Vici. And Fade could be going to IG, but this is all, Chalice is, we don't really know them that well. We don't know the Chinese players that well because, we don't speak Chinese in the Western scene. But Chalice is known to be a bit of a character, he's a cheeky guy and likes stirring the pot a little bit. But I mean, I'm sure what he's leaking is it's probably true, but things are subject to change and stuff. Not gospel, but definitely possible, which is kind of the mantra of this show, really. Not gospel, but definitely possible.
Yes, that's a very good title. We should have called it that.
Thank you. We should. It could be the tagline.
I think Neff is going to hop in. Go ahead, Odie.
Oh, sorry. But by the way, is Fate the Fate Beyond from LGD or Fate the TI2 winner? Because I believe Fate from the TI2 winner already got 12 ban, right?
Yes.
Because of the match fixing.
He did, yeah.
Fade.
So is there any other
Fade.
Fade. Yeah.
Oh, Fade. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the various fa sounds in in Chinese Dota. We're going to wait for Neff to head in very briefly, and we'll talk through NA and SA with him when he's here. And he is here. I'm going to move his picture.
Can he still appear?
So he's visible. Neff, turn on your camera, please. I know this is excellent podcasting. And then we'll kick off.
We'll sort it out in post.
Yes, we will.
Whoa! Oh my goodness, this is.
Oh, what a beautiful man!
Look at that chest. Oh, I'm gonna need a minute.
Okay, Neff. Emerging blinking from the tunnel. Tell us about all the rumors in the smaller teams in North America.
That one is still a complete mess. We still don't know who's playing with who up until there's an announcement of who's going to be in charge of the NA league, and until there's going to be announcement of who's getting what slot in NA. So that one is still completely up in the air. It has not changed since last week.
Really? So it's still up in the air after a full week?
Yes.
I really want you to just leave. I really want you to just say that. Like, just say, we don't know anything. No one's going anywhere. The things and all that. Just drop immediately. That would
you can ask any player. They'll tell you the same thing. Nobody knows who's playing with who. It's all depending on how DPC slots are going to go. Meanwhile, SA was secured like a week ago. All these European teams have all decided who's playing with each other. China's got like their big ticket roster swaps, but North America is just like a fucking mess.
Well, I'm so glad you could come on to tell us that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear the managers of EG and for Northern NA organization have had to fist fight it out for the contract of Arteezy just on the streets of LA. It's brutal out there.
Yeah. Well, there was supposed to be a fist fight, but nobody showed up on time for it. Much like I didn't show up on time for this podcast today.
The question I want to ask you is, having seen the Quincy Crew roster, so it's Quinn +4, basically, that leaves a number of players now teamless, SVG or LOA, MSS, Lelis, and, Yawar, of course, in Quincy Crew, sorry. So that's 3 players teamless. Where do you think they may be heading? What sort of things are you expecting out of those 3?
A couple of them, I think, are wanting to go to Europe. I'm not surprised the team split up like it did. The thing I'm most surprised about is the fact that the team is staying together. I think that they believe that they're going to be able to make a major with their current roster lineup. Undying is probably staying in North America as well. If they can get at least top 3 inside the region, I think they're going to be very happy. Mm-hmm. But I think all the others are going to split up and head to probably Europe, and maybe 1 or 2 people might stick around and play on a North American team. I'm just not sure how well that Quincy Crew lineup is going to function with a bunch of people from all over the world. Like, they're good players. They're giving Ponlo a chance. It's like, I wouldn't say his first taste of competitive Dota. He's played at a pretty high level for a long time. Kazu's going to be playing on Ping. And, sorry, I've already forgotten the last player on the Quincy Crew lineup.
That'd be
that
Milan.
Was Milan, right. He's taking a little bit of a break, but he's been at TI before, right?
Mm.
Yeah, and he did coach them through this TI as well.
No, that was Kazu.
Oh, sorry, yeah, that was Kazu. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we're expecting Lelis, SVG, and MSS to move to Europe, whereabouts Europe might they move? Because I know there's a place that's got a hole for a position 5 and a position 3, which is Alliance. Would that shock you, SVG and Lelis to Alliance?
No, I mean, it's again, it's stable team. It's stable pay. One of the biggest concerns that you have as a North American player is all their money the last little while has either been from like Twitch revenue or prize money. Being able to join an org, I think, is a big deal for some of these players because at this point you're a little bit concerned about money, and if you're not consistently winning these tournaments, you're goddamn broke, which really sucks for North America. Hopefully that changes in this next year here. And hopefully these people made a little bit of money with the team pact. But I think moving to Europe, because the consistent salaries that they make with some of these gaming orgs is on the forefront of these players' minds. So I think that's where they're going to go. And Alliance is, again, a stable team where they can get that.
Well, Neff, let's talk about CIS to close up then. Nomad, any idea of what's going on there? Because I was expecting that to be a stable place for the first.
Oh wait, can I take over 1 second before?
Yes. Go ahead.
You guys throw me away. I was wrong about TCNC. Fuck y'all, especially you guys on Reddit. That's all I got. But
not entirely consistent. I was wrong. Fuck off. Leave me alone. Let's talk about CIS then. Nomad. Any thoughts about what's unfolding there?
I mean, yeah, the VP stuff's still pretty crazy. We don't know where the players are going. DM, maybe DM does speak very good English, could be joining an EU team. We're not really sure right now. Save as well, not really too sure what's happening with him. It's getting messy over there as far as I can tell. Na'Vi are staying together, much to my surprise. They seem to be completely locked. I guess they signed contracts before TI or something because, they were obviously confirmed before this point. Does seem still to me like a really strange move to lock everything in before TI, before you know what's happening. But
yeah,
Na'Vi do as Na'Vi will, and that's what they've decided to do this time around. So the 4 Ukrainians captained by the Russians solo. We'll see how they do. And there was, of course, that drama over TI where someone told them they were going to be rubbish or something. But yeah, and then we have the new Hellraisers squad as well. Don't know if you guys have seen that one. That consists of, I believe, Watson has a team, which I'm very happy about because I thought Watson did decently on bait, and it's just been fantastic in pubs. So I'm very excited to see if he can perform on a competitive stage. Not saying that bait weren't on a competitive stage, but bait weren't really playing in many high-tier events. They're a very limited team, unfortunately. Yes. So we have Watson, we have Rebel or whatever you want to call him. We have Limitless, we have Gilgear, and then we have Melody. lining up
Interesting roster.
this roster. So yeah, very young again, and that's what we expected from the CAS region, right? You know, team spirit, plucky young go-getters go in, and 4 TI first timers win an Aegis. So I'm expecting a lot of fresh players, which there are plenty of in the CAS region. It really is a boiling pot over there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the other rosters around do and where other people go. But yeah, I think VP is still the biggest question mark on everyone's mind. What's going to happen there?
Not for me.
Will DM and Save leave? Not for you, Neff. What say you?
Wait, no. I don't have CIS roster. No, not VP. CIS roster involving Ramses, Pasha, and Lil, which is going to implode in like 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Ramses, Pasha,
Sorry.
Lil. Okay.
I'm going through all my notes right now because I just.
There's no egos in that team. Should be okay. You know.
Yikes.
Very...
Okay, we'll close up then on that note. Any final
I got
thoughts?
a couple.
Oh no, Matt,
I got a
Neff's
couple to
final
drop
thoughts.
real quick. SA roster with RDO, Analog, KJ, Theo Licor, and potentially Lelis. Lelis also potentially going to Alliance.
Yeah, that's what I
what
just
else?
said, and you agreed with it.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say I've heard a rumor that he is going to Alliance when I dropped my wild speculation?
Because I just rolled out of bed and
Fair enough.
I'm going through my notes now. Yeah, it was possibly going to be on No Pig lineup. Then
If I was him, I'd go to Alliance.
Yeah, Jeans, Gardic, Vitali, El Micho, and +1. El Micho has been playing absolutely amazing. He's a position 4 player out of South America. And then there is Drenkin, Sexy Yogi, Dunha, Berna, and RoboZ is Balrog Esports, but I think the official announcement for that one came out already.
Interesting. That's good stuff. Big leagues at the end. Any final thoughts from you, Odie, before we move on?
I think from the Southeast Asia region, there's not gonna be much change. I think it's just like old players with new teams. But seeing how the DPC is going come through, I think Yangon Galacticos is one of the oldest team there. I think the only one from Myanmar who actually can play in the upper or lower division right now. And I believe they're gonna shake things up in the upper division in like 3 months or 4 months. That's it.
Okay, I got a little bit more.
He's got more.
Mm.
It's the biggest
C9?
data dump in history.
C9 wants Misery, Ace, and €3. They also followed Snake King on Twitter recently. That's something that I found out. So it's possible that Snake King moves from Tundra to C9. I mean, that's the paycheck that we were talking about.
So that would be basically Hellraisers, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Not Hellraisers, Hellbear Smashers.
Hellbear Smashers, yeah. Which would make sense because they've worked with them before. And for some reason, I keep coming back to RTZ. I mean, sorry, not RTZ, Eternal Envy. And I have no idea.
Yeah, they love that guy.
Still undying rosters, man.
That's an abusive X if I've ever heard one. Seen one.
Yeah,
no, I've heard
Cloud9.
about Cloud9 been poking around and trying to pick up a team as well, so that does check out. But that's the actual roster. I heard they're actually going for quite a high end roster at the start, trying to poach some of the bigger players, but ended up not being able to do so.
I mean, it's tricky to just come in and take the biggest roster inside Dota because everyone's looking out to win TI at the end of the year, right? You're not going to be able to match the money that you make from that one. All right, EG with Arteezy, Abed, Nightfall, Crit, and +1 apparently.
Oh, Nightfall. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nightfall.
Is that +1? Because we've already said that +1 is Jerax. Do you think it's Jerax?
Okay. Hustlers, D2 Hustlers with Yuma, Monster, Divine Llama, and +2, but they're still waiting on DPC roles like I was talking about. Arkosh, I was correct. Cerberus is out. And it's possible that they get a new, even more powerful beast. SG, Arms, KXY, Hiko, and Wish, and then Bino Mistas, Benny, Mini, Valkyrie, Nuages, and Hane. And that's all I got for this week.
Excellent. Well, you've got a lot, and it's great that you managed to fit it all within the last 7 minutes of the podcast when most people will have tuned out. But that...
just tag it in at the end. Be like 7 minutes in on YouTube. This is when Neff starts coughing a shitload.
Just listing rosters emotionlessly like a robot.
Yeah.
Nomad, I'll call you yourself BSJ because I'll give you the last word. Close us off here.
Happy shuffling.
This is the last word. You get an interview with Quinn Callahan himself, and then you say "Happy shuffling" all awkwardly. Fuck this guy.
Everyone's got
Talks to
an
one of
idea.
my heroes.
It's not impressive.
It is to me.
Okay,
He's a
we'll
North
leave it
American
there.
hero.
Thanks so much for joining. We'll be back very shortly, maybe towards the end of this week or early next week. I have a Position 6 releasing on Thursday with his name begins with Q and ends with N. We'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining. I'll speak to you all very soon.